Hello everybody and welcome back. This is part 6 of my Tyranid Codex review. In this episode, we're going to be talking heavy support. So this is the last one of the new models I got. It is one of the exocrines or exocrines or whatever they're called. I never really knew what they were pronounced. This is the Harspec makes this kit as well, or makes this model as well. Really stupid little head, really big gun. So definitely compensating. But regardless, again, the old model for the exocrine from Armorcast was basically a gigantic slug with a pincer mouth and this big cannon coming off its head because it had the big, like a big ridge. So I like this model a whole lot better. I never really liked the slug Tyranids from Armorcast, but you know, they were cool and they were really fun to have in Apocalypse. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into him since I showed the model. He's 170 points in heavy support. His weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3, like the majority of the monsters. Strength and toughness 6, weapon skill 5, or wounds 5, initiative 3, 3 attacks, leadership 7 at 3 plus armor save. So I believe the exact same stats as the Harspec, right? No, the Harspec's leadership 7. Oh no, he is. Sorry, I think I glanced somewhere else. Anyway, regardless. They're stat-wise both identical. Like I said, he's 170 points, and he has Scything Talons and the Plasmic Cannon. Now, this is a 24-inch range gun, Strength 7 AP 2, with 2 different fire modes. One of them is Assault 6, and one of them is a Large Blast. So, Strength 7 AP 2, pretty nice. He's got Fearless, Instinctive Behavior Hunt, and Symbiotic Targeting. Now what this means is if he's stationary, if he doesn't move during the movement phase, his ballistic skill increases by 1 to 4. So he gets a ballistic skill 4, so hitting on 3s. But if you do that, then he can't assault that turn, which, not a big deal. Okay, he can take items from the Biomorph list, and he can take the Thresher Scythe Tail Biomorph for 10 points. Nah. I could see maybe giving him regen. That would make him 200 points, though. But other than that, I just don't see taking any upgrades on him. You know, none of the other biomorphs. He doesn't need Furious Charge. He doesn't need Fleet. He doesn't need to be poisoned. He wants to stand in the back with some synapse and shoot. And I think he'd be good at that. So, tentatively, I have one. I don't really want to spam him because the rest of the heavy support slots are so useful that I think I'm going to need 3 different things just for options. Okay. So that's the exocrine. He's the new guy. I want to get him out of the way. So let's just go back to the beginning, the front of the thing, and talk about Carnifexes, because they might be back. They're 120 points a model now. So they're down, 40 points? They were 160 or 165 in the last book. So they're dropped, not quite as low as they were in 4th, when they cost 85 points base, but we won't talk about that. That was good times. I had a lot of fun with 85 point. The Screamer Killers with Scything Talons and Bioplasma were 113 points if I remember right. So, yep. Anyway, Carnifexes. Profile is very similar to before. The only difference I can see is that they're initiative 2 now instead of 1. And they have 3 attacks instead of 4, but since they come standard with 2 sets of Scything Talons, they're back up to normal. But they don't get the rerolls anymore, remember that. So, they're okay, still Strength 9, still Toughness 6 with 4 wounds, but yeah. Special rules, they have Fearless, Instinctive Behavior Feed, and Living Battery. And if you remember from our HQ when we talked about Old One-Eye, Living Battery gives them D3 additional Hammer of or D3 Hammer of Wrath hits instead of 1. So, okay. You can include up to 2 Carnifexes for 120 points per model. Additional. Any model may replace 1 set of Scything Talons for Crushing Claws, making them initiative 10 or strength 10 with Armor Bane for 15 points a model. Any model may take anything from the Monstrous Biocannon and Biomorph list. Now, that means you can still take 2 sets of Twin Link Devourers. You can still take a Venom Cannon if you want, and you know, I don't know why you would on a Carnifex, but more importantly, you can take on the Biomorph table. So you can still get regen, but you can get Furious Charge and Fleet now. Now, Furious Charge is not going to help you if you take the Crushing Claws, but Fleet sure is. A Fleet Carnifex. I like that. You know, call me crazy. I love Carnifexes. I think I had 6 in the old book. In the 4th edition book, I had 6 different ones, and then I've recently traded I traded for a Tyranid a while ago, and there were 3 in there, so I have 9. I don't know if I remember going to field 9, but I do have 9. And they're all either kitted out as old, 1 is old and 1 eye, and then 4 are Scything Talon Carnifexes, and the other 4 are Dacofexes. So there's Carnifexes. And then they can take Spine Banks or Bioplasma. Now, Bioplasma is exactly the same as before. It's a one-shot, 24-inch. Is it 24-inch range or is it 12-inch range? 12-inch range. Strength 7 AP2 Blast now, though. Before it was one shot. Now it's Blast. So that's good. And what was the other one? Spine Banks. Spine Banks are like the Flesh Hooks. Only they're 8-inch range, Strength 3 Assault 1 Blast. But they are, 5-point frag grenades. So again, so that's good, because they lost them last edition, and they had Flesh Hooks the edition before, which were just assault grenades. So that's good, those are back. Then he can take, any model may take either the Thresher Scythe, which we've been over, for 10 points, or the Bone Mace Tail for 5, which is an unwieldy Strength 8 attack. They gave it unwieldy, but Carnifex are the only people that can take it, and they ignore unwieldy. So, it just seems like they tacked on a rule for no reason. You know, Games Workshop will never do that, right? No, they do it all the time. Okay, so that's Carnifexes. I like them. Finally. I really hated not running them in the last book, but what are you going to do? Okay, Biovores. Now, Biovores are up there with Venom Thropes. I love them. I think they did good on them. They're 40 points a model. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3, strength and toughness 4. 3 wounds now, not 2. 3 wounds. Initiative 2 with 2 attacks, 6 leadership, 4 up armor save. Yeah, so 3 wounds. I like it. They've got the Spore Mine Launcher, which is still a 48-inch range, strength 4, AP 4, but it's a large blast barrage, and if it scatters off, it drops Spore Mines. Now, important to know, there's been some going back and forth about this online, even though there shouldn't be. When the book first came out on Saturday, everyone was talking about Biovores, and that if you scattered with all 3 of your hits, if you got a Brute of 3, then you get 3 groups of D3 Spore Mines. You don't. The cannon is only 1 shot each, but if you read the barrage rules, if a unit is firing all barrage weapons, it's treated as the same barrage. And the Spore Mine rules specifically say that it's only the first marker in a barrage that if it misses, it creates the Spore Mines. So you can't just churn them out. So the only special rules they have is Instinctive Behavior, Hunt, and Very Bulky. And you can take up to 2 additional Biovores for 40 points a model. So I like Biovores. I'm going to run at least 3 of them when I play this week and see. But yeah, I expect them to do well. So Biovores, I like them. Triguns, 190 points. Not a big fan since they lost. They did 2 things with them. They lost their rerolls on Scything Talons, and the subterranean or the tunnel thing still isn't fixed. It's exactly the same as it was in the previous book, where the Trigun comes out, it makes the tunnel. No one can use the tunnel until the turn after. It's got to have been there. So if you are still for some reason running a reserve list, then no one's going to come out of that tunnel until at the earliest turn 3. And most stuff that you're going to want to come out of the tunnel is melee, so it's losing a bunch of turns. So on top of that, their weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 3, same profiles they were last edition, except I can't remember if they were initiative 4 or if they were initiative 5 in the last book, but they're initiative 4 right now with 5 attacks. So due to the 2 sets of Scything Talons, they're back up to 6 attacks, but they can't reroll. Leadership 8 with a 3-up save. They've got Deep Strike, Fearless, Fleet, Instinctive Behavior Feed, and Subterranean Assault. Subterranean Assault is the rule that generates the hole that other things run out of. They can take items from the Biomorph list. And this is one of those few units I'd take Regeneration on if you're going to take them, because they've got 6 wounds and toughness 6. And they can take either the Prehensile Pincer or Toxin Spike, which is the 4th tail weapon. Strength 1, AP 6, poisoned, 2+. Not bad, but again, tail weapons were kind of a miss for me. But the Carnifex taking the Bone Mace would be decent because it's another Strength 8 hit against like a vehicle or something, if for some weird reason he didn't kill it. But it's AP nothing and it's 15 points. So, and on this one the Toxin Spike's 10, I wouldn't take it. Not at AP 6, I wouldn't. Okay, Trigun Prime, 230 points. Stat line is the same as it used to be. Yep, looks identical. It's the exact same as the Trigon, except it's got a leadership 10 instead of leadership 8 because it's Synapse creature. It's got Deep Strike, Fleet, Shadows in the Warp, Subterranean Assault, and Synapse creature. So there you go. I think it had all those before. I don't remember if it had a Fleet in the last book though, but it does now. It's got 2 pairs of Scything Talons. Oh, I didn't go over this with the Trigon. The Bioelectric Pulse. Let's go to that. Now the regular Trigon just has the Bioelectric Pulse, and the Prime has the one with Contamination Spines. The Bioelectric Pulse is range 12, Strength 5, AP 5, Assault 6. The Bioelectric Pulse with Containment Spines have 18-inch range, Strength 5, AP 5, Assault 12. So I think that's identical to the old one. I don't remember if they were... I thought they were both the same range, though, in the last book. But maybe I was wrong. I didn't run normal Trigons usually. If I was running them, they were Primes. Anyway, can take items from the Biomorph list and the Tyranid Bio Artifacts, and may take a Prehensile Pincer or a Toxin Spike for 10 points apiece. So that's the Trigons and the Trigon Prime. They got a big nerf since they don't reroll hits anymore, and Carnifex is being so much cheaper. For one Trigon at 190, you can get 2 base Carnifexes for 240. You have more wounds. You're going to end up with more attacks at higher strength without smashing. So I think with the and you can't even say Fleet anymore because Carnifexes have Fleet. The only thing is the Trigons can Deep Strike. But other than that, I think I like the Carnifexes just a lot better. Unless you need a heavy support Synapse. Take Trigon Prime, I guess. Okay, 2 more in heavy. We got Mawlocks. Mawlocks are now 140 points, down from 170, I believe. I think this profile is the same. Weapon skill 3, no ballistic skill, 6 is in strength, toughness, and wounds. And at 4 initiative, 3 attacks, 3 up armor save, and a leadership 8. Okay, well, he can take from the Biomorph list, and he can take the Pincer or the Toxin Spike for 10 as well. As far as special rules go, he has Deep Strike, Fearless. He now has Hit and Run. He has Instinctive Behavior Feed. He has Burrow, and then Toxin in the Deep. Terror in the Deep. Of course, those rules are similar to what they were before. Burrow is that an unengaged Mawloc can at any point during his movement phase, starting on the 2nd turn, can elect to burrow. If he does, remove him from play and put him in ongoing reserves. A Mawloc cannot Deep Strike and burrow in the same turn. There was some contention on this. Let me read Terror from the Deep. When arriving from Deep Strike Reserve, a Mawloc can choose to Deep Strike onto a point occupied by another model. Okay, we won't get into what it does just now. Think about that. He's coming in from Deep Strike Reserve, and he goes back into ongoing reserve. The question is, can you Deep Strike onto somebody from ongoing reserves? Intention, like rules as intended, yes, obviously. That's what he's meant to do. He's meant to come out, burrow, or come out, hit people, burrow, and come back up and eat more people. Rules as written, though, I'm not sure that you can Deep Strike from ongoing reserves. I don't know if the book says you can or not, and I looked it up. It doesn't really say, but I assume you can. I'm saying tentatively, and if anyone asks, I'm saying yes. You Terror in the Deep, you can Deep Strike back on the board. It makes no sense that you can't. So let me know what you think. But now you still don't roll for mishaps if he's coming up from underneath people. Instead, you place the large blast marker over the spot where the Mawloc's coming out at. All units except flyers and flying monster creatures beneath the blast suffer a number of Strength 6 AP2 wounds or hits equal to with the Ignore Cover special rule, equal to the number of models that are under that template. So it's Strength 6 AP2 Ignore Cover now. So that's nice. And if you don't kill enough to place the Trigon, you do the or the Mawloc, you do the attack again. You do it a second time. Okay. Yeah. Hits against vehicles or side armor. If after moving casualties it's now possible to place the Mawloc on the table on the spot where the blast marker landed, then do so. Even if it's within 1 inch of another model, but not if it would be in base contact with or occupying the same space as another model. If it's not possible to place the Mawloc, replace the large blast marker on the spot and resolve it a second time. If you don't if you don't make enough room for him, then you mishap. So it's a risk, but he's only 140 points. I think he's going to need some playtesting, but I think he can see play. He's one of those we'll have to see. Okay, our last heavy support is, and the last thing in the book is the Tyranofex. He's now only 175 points, so pretty good size point drop. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3, 6 in strength, toughness, and wounds, with initiative 2, with 3 attacks, leadership 8, and it's still now the only 2+ armor save outside of the Imgarl factor in the entire book. He comes standard with Acid Spray and Stinger Salvo, which haven't changed. Acid Spray is a template, Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 1, Torrent, and what was the other one? Stinger Salvo. And I think we've already read this one once, but yeah, with the Tervagon. But it's 18 inches, Strength 5, AP 4, Assault 4. So, still Ballistic Skill 3 though, which I knew he would be, but it just kind of sucks. He's got Instinctive Behavior Hunt and Fearless. He can take his 2 old guns, the Fleshbore Hive, for 5 points. The Fleshbore Hive got better. It's an 18-inch range now. Still Strength 4, AP 5, Assault 20, but it's 18-inch range now instead of 12. And the Rupture Cannon's 30 points, which is still, what's the range? Still 48-inch range, Strength 10, AP 4 with Assault 2. Couldn't have been AP 2, huh? Whatever. But 30 points. And then he can take Thorax Biomorphs, and he can take items from the Biomorph table. I would almost take the Electroshock Grubs on him again, or as the same thing with the Tervagon. But I just leave him with Acid Spray, to be honest. Like I said, my most vulnerable is when Tau are bunkered up, or IG are bunkered up behind an Aegis. Well, he takes care of those. Because you deploy it 12 inches, move 6, and then you torrent 12 inches away, you're going to hit something on turn 1. Turn 2, you're going to start being dangerous. And, you know, I just do that. And how much were the Electroshock Grubs? Because just take them in case something gets close. And you can hit them with it before you charge in, because it's haywire. 10 points. Yeah, they're all 10 points. So you're looking at 185 points. Probably 215, because I think regen on him would be really good. So, okay. So that is the Tyranofex. And that is the book. So, new Tyranids. Okay. Thanks for watching this video. I'm going to do one more, kind of a small video, explaining, going over again what I think and what I'll handle going forward. So, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the last episode.